Hey guys, Crypto Dad, and today we're going to talk about creating an offline wallet for cold storage using the Electrum Bitcoin Wallet. So let's get going. Okay, so I've had a number of users ask me about the Electrum Bitcoin Wallet and how you go about setting up cold storage. And so today I'd kind of like to cover that. And so let's dive in. Okay, in order to create a cold storage wallet, we're going to want to install Windows on a new machine that will not ever connect to the internet. We can use an old laptop that might be laying around. We can put a new hard drive in an existing laptop, swap out, or add a secondary hard drive to a desktop machine. And you can choose in the BIOS which drive to boot from, disconnect your network cable, and boot up that machine. The idea is that we want to install Windows clean on a machine that has never been connected to the internet. And how you go about it is up to you. But we do in fact need to get a copy of the Windows installer. And what I'm doing here is using the Windows Creation Toolkit to create a bootable flash drive with an installation of Windows 10 on it. So here's the option for Windows, the type of Windows. Keep in mind, if you're installing on an older machine with 32-bit, you'll want to change that. But the defaults are usually okay. Okay, and we want to install this on an empty flash drive. Just make sure that the flash drive is in the drive and that it's got enough space on there. I believe they need at least an 8 gigabyte flash drive, and it will be overwritten, so make sure it's one that doesn't have anything on there that you need. And we just wait patiently while the tool runs. Windows 10 Media Creation Tool is going to create a bootable flash drive for us. And when it's all finished, we're going to have a nice USB flash drive that's bootable and has a clean installation of Windows on there. Okay, and one more thing before we take this flash drive and install it into our laptop. I'm going to put a copy of the Electrum Bitcoin Wallet installer on there. Now this is an installer that I have verified cryptographically. Okay guys, so I have a secondary camera pointed at my laptop, and what I'm going to do is show you how to install this secondary hard drive in the laptop before we begin. Remember, we're going to be able to use the laptop normally when we swap hard drives. In other words, there's a hard drive in there and it works, and it's a working machine, but I've decided I want to do a cold storage Electrum Bitcoin wallet on there, but that hard drive is running a version of Windows that is connected to the internet and blah 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 blah. So what we're going to do is we're going to install Windows clean on this hard drive, and when we want access to our cold storage, we just swap hard drives. We put this guy in there, we sign our transactions, and then we export them out, and then we bring them over to our watching only wallet, which we can use to send transactions. So anyway, that's the strategy, and here we go. Okay guys, so now as you can see, I have the laptop up here. Get this down a little bit. Let's zoom in a little better on this guy. Let's see here. Whoops. I'm going to, there we go. Do a little of this action. Whoops. There we go. Take this down a little bit. Not bad if I say so for myself. It's not perfect. Let's see. Here we go. That's what let's put it over there. There we go. Now let's start this guy up. Boot. I'm going to hit enter, and you'll notice here that I've got the USB storage device as the top boot, and we can change that value with F5, F6. Let's see here. Yeah. So you can see I can move it up and down by hitting F5, move it back up, hitting F6. So I want the computer to boot from a USB storage device if there is one in there. And if there's not a USB storage device in one of the USB ports, it will default to the next boot up device, which would be the CD, DVD drive. Most computers are set to boot from the DVD drive by default, so if you burn yourself a copy of Windows on DVD or CD, I don't think it'll fit on a CD anymore, but if you have a DVD copy of Windows, then you should be good to go. You know, you just put it in the drive and boot the computer. It should automatically boot up from that guy. And then, as you can see, the hard drive is my third option. So if neither the USB drive is in there or a CD is in there, it will automatically boot up from the hard drive. And that's the most convenient way to do all this. So we're just going to hit F10, boot up from Windows. Now I have an external keyboard and got an external keyboard and an external mouse. Hopefully, yay, it works. So I'm going to move my mouse cursor off here. It's a little bright, huh? Okay. So we're going to hit next, install now. Now this is going to be a little different than say a normal installation of Windows because we're not connected to the internet. We have disconnected the network cable, and in fact I probably okay, so this hard drive had some partitions on there. I don't care about them. I'm gonna take everything off, and I'm going to install new, and I'm perfectly happy with that. Oh wait, I just like to take it to the next, right? We don't need to do new. Yeah, let Windows decide how to format it.
Hi there, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help.
So I'm going to see, it knows my region. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, yes. Skip this. Aha, okay. So here's the part where Windows asks me to connect. I'm going to take that off. I don't even know what that is. That's not mine. It doesn't have any idea what my Wi-Fi password is, so it's not going to be able to connect anyway, but I'm going to skip that. All right, so now that we have reinserted that flash drive in there, let's go over here and There's our Electrum setup. Okay, so we're just going to run this. Just installing the defaults. Okay, and there we go. We've got a clean copy of Electrum Bitcoin, which we downloaded and verified. So we know we got a good copy of that. We've got a fresh copy of Windows 10, which has never been connected to the internet. So I think we're good to go. So let's launch Bitcoin. Or, I'm sorry. We're going to choose auto connect. It most likely will not connect. We'll call this cold storage. Oops. This is just for my own reference. Okay, I wanted to do a short little section on how we set up the cold storage wallet. I recorded this using my laptop, and it didn't come out very well. It was a little bit difficult to see. So I'm going to do it on this machine. Keep in mind that we're doing this on our air-gapped machine, our machine that's disconnected from the internet. So don't fret if you see this little icon down here that I'm connected. I know that. All right, so basically when you install the Electrum Bitcoin Wallet for the first time, it's going to present you with the new wallet interface, okay? And that's where we'll start. We're going to do, we'll just call this wallet cold storage. You don't have to. It's for your own reference, but it does help to make things a little easier to manage. Okay, so we're going to call this one storage wallet. Wallet. All right, and then we'll click next. All right, and it's going to be a standard wallet, and I'm going to create a brand new seed, and we're going to call this one. We're going to keep standard on this. I tried Segwit with the watching only wallet, and it didn't work very well, so we're going to stick with standard. We just click next. All right, and there's our seed. So what we're going to want to do is write down that seed on a piece of paper and keep it in a very safe place. All right, and after we've written down our seed in a safe place, we click next, and then it's going to want us to confirm the seed. We're going to want to retype the seed into this little window here and make sure that we get it correct. Okay, and once we've done that, we click next, and we're going to give this guy a password. All right, so we create a new password. We click next, and there we go. So we've got a cold storage wallet here. This is our private component. This is on our air-gapped computer, our disconnected computer, our computer that's not connected to the internet. Okay, this is the cold storage component of the wallet. So what we're going to need to do is create the watching only component so that we can get Bitcoin in. Because no one can send you Bitcoin if you're not connected to the internet. All right, so we're going to need two components for this wallet. So what we do is we go over here to wallet information, and down here we see the master public key of this wallet. This is the part that we're going to transfer over so that we can create our watching only component. So we can hit the clipboard here. There's a little icon here to copy to the clipboard. Just close this up. And then somewhere you want to paste this guy in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this installer flash drive that we used, and it's in the laptop at the moment, so I'm just going to create a new text file here, and we'll call this master public key. All right, and I'm just going to paste that guy in there. And we're going to save it. All right, and that is our master public key, which we're going to take over to the other side, the other computer, and use to create our watching only component. Okay, and that's really all we need to do on this machine. And then once we create the watching only component, I'll show you how to transfer Bitcoin in and out of the cold storage wallet. Okay, so what we need to do here is open up our Electrum Bitcoin Wallet. Alrighty, and we're just going to enter in our password for the default wallet. Alright, that's the old default wallet there. So we're going to create a new wallet. And the name of this wallet will be watching only. Oops. All right, we just click next. It's going to be a standard wallet. We actually have a public key. We're going to use public key. So we'll just click next here. And we're going to restore this master public key from a file. And that's the file that we created on the other computer, which we put on the flash drive. So we just go down here to the flash drive. Now, the reason that I used text file on this is because this import process is going to just look for kind of a raw key stored in a file. And if I had used WordPad or say Microsoft Word or anything of that nature, there's formatting within those document types, and this whole process isn't going to work. So because I created a text file, it allows me to just open this guy up, and lo and behold, I've imported that watching only master public key. Now this key is way too long to be a receiving address. This is what we call the master public key, and this is what we're using to create this watching only wallet. So we'll just click next. And you'll notice here that it says that it is a watching only wallet, which means we will not be able to spend Bitcoins. Make sure you own the seed phrase or private keys before you request Bitcoins to be sent to this wallet. And we do own the private keys. The private keys reside on our air-gapped computer, the computer that we created that has the cold storage component. So we'll just click OK here. And you'll notice that the wallet says standard watching only. So this is the Bitcoin address that we're going to use to send Bitcoins to. Okay, and when we hit receive, you'll notice it's a standard receiving address that is generated here. This is not it's not going to be that master public key that we're going to try to send Bitcoin to. And I should mention also, when you close this guy out, when you launch Electrum, that was the last wallet that we used. So Electrum is just going to open that watching only wallet. And you'll notice that it doesn't ask for any password. You know, there is no reason to keep this secret from anyone, because anyone that has access to this computer that wants to open this watching only wallet is more than welcome to send Bitcoins into it. It's impossible to get Bitcoins out, so there's no risk to someone opening this file, opening this wallet. So that's kind of interesting, I thought. Alrighty, so now what we want to do is get some Bitcoin into this guy. And how are we going to do that? Now, I don't want to get all wrapped up in the fact that I'm moving Bitcoins into this wallet. I mean, we really are focusing on, you know, using this as a storage only. And you're going to notice that I'm going to move some Bitcoins into it, and then I'm just going to take them right out. And I want you to remember that I'm doing this video for demonstration purposes only. So the fact that I'm moving Bitcoin in and then immediately moving it out is not one of your use case scenarios. Basically, the use case scenario of this wallet on this computer is I'm only moving Bitcoins in. And then I'm going to show you how to get them out on the other side once we get coins into it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I've got my Ledger Nano S. I'm going to connect it. If you're not familiar with the Ledger Nano S, I've got some great videos on how it works. Nano S, I can launch Chrome, go to Apps, and choose the Ledger Nano Bitcoin. Just going to get rid of these alerts. Get this guy out of the way. Okay, and then I'm going to choose Bitcoin. Alrighty, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to move some Bitcoin from this wallet over to the watching only. Now, I did this earlier with, when I did the cold storage wallet, I created a Segwit cold storage wallet, and of course the watching only wallet ended up being related to this Segwit wallet. I wasn't able to move any Bitcoin in from any type of wallet, so I don't know if that's a bug. I'm gonna try to move some of my Segwit from the Segwit address into this guy and see if that works. I don't want to get too I don't want you to get too confused between the Segwit and the standard. If you've got some standard coin in Coinbase or one of your online cryptocurrency exchange accounts, you should be fine. And then if you're moving Bitcoins from your Ledger Nano wallet into this, and then I should also point out that there's really no point in moving Bitcoins from your Ledger Nano wallet into this watching only wallet, unless you're planning on giving it away to somebody, because this is a really good cold storage solution. Okay, so I hope we don't get too wrapped up in where these Bitcoins are coming from. So anyway, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's go over here to Bitcoin. I'm going to go over to my Segwit because I have some money in here. And I think, yeah, there was more in here and I failed to send and I lost my fee. All right. So in this case, I'm going to send the max and I'm going to get a receive from over here. Copy that to clipboard. And we'll put this guy in here. And let's see what happens when I click send. Okay. Hey, it's sent. Okay, so now it wants me to confirm my transaction here. I'll show you this. It's asking me to confirm the transaction by hitting the bing. And there it went. Oops. We have had a successful send. Hey, and look at that. It's already shown up in my watching only wallet. So, okay. So it looks like Segwit is able to send to older wallets, but older wallets don't always successfully send to Segwit wallets. So, my advice on this cold storage wallet with this watching only address is just keep it standard for now. I'm assuming that might be a bug, or it may be built into the whole Segwit protocol that it's unable to send Bitcoin into a Segwit address watching only wallet. That I don't know. I'm just kind of here to show you what works. So we got Bitcoin into our watching only wallet and I'm happy. All right, so I'm just going to close this wallet out here and we're going to take a look at this. Okay, we've got some Bitcoin in here. Okay, so what we want to do is send some Bitcoin out. Okay, so as you can see over here on the watching only wallet, my transaction has been fully confirmed. All right, didn't take that long actually. So it says I have 3.9 micro bitcoins, which I believe is 0.003 bitcoins. Now, what we want to do is I'm going to move these back into the Ledger Nano. And for the sake of the willing suspension of disbelief, we're going to pretend that this is someone else's Ledger Nano, and it makes sense to move these bitcoins out to someone else. You know, I could be spending these bitcoins on a website like newegg.com or overstock.com, and or moving them into my Coinbase account or whatever. You know, we're gonna send these out, okay? But I need a valid Bitcoin transaction for this to work, so we're gonna use my Ledger Nano address, and we'll just go from there, okay? So the first thing we want to do is generate a receiving address on this side. Going to copy that guy over, and the pay to field is going to be this address. Oh, let's just max it out. Yeah, let's max this guy out. All right, and let's preview. Okay. All right, so it has calculated a fee for me. It's given me the maximum amount of Bitcoin that I can send out and still pay the fee. And I've got a sort of a medium fee. I'm not in a big hurry, so I'm going to go ahead and accept this. So at this point, we click Save. All right. And so now here's my transaction. I'm going to save it on the flash drive, directly to the flash drive, because that is, I'm going to move that over to my cold storage wallet. Now you might want to, you know, get a different flash drive, you know, that's empty, you know, so we don't mix up all our, you know, back and forths here. But I'm just going to use that same flash drive that I used to install Windows on, and so we're just going to click Save, and it says transaction saved successfully. Let me just close this out. We'll close here and here. We can close this guy down for now. And let's take a look at our flash drive over here. Here we go. So I have an unsigned transaction, TXN. I guess that's a transaction file format. So we're going to take this over to the other computer. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the password. Okay. So now we see we've got this unsigned transaction. All right, and now what we want to do is we want to open up this wallet, which we've done, and we've got the cold storage wallet. And we're not, as you can see, we're not connected. So what we want to do is go over here to Tools, Load Transaction, and we're going to load it from File. And we're going to navigate over to our USB flash drive. And there it is right there, the unsigned transaction. We're going to open that guy up. And okay, so here's the tricky part. We're going to sign that transaction. Okay, so once we've signed it, it wants the password of the wallet. Yeah, and you'll notice at this point it's asking for the password. When we opened the watching only component, it didn't care. But at this point, yeah, there is a possibility of taking Bitcoin out, so it wants a password. So we'll just click OK there. And it just signed it. Isn't that great? Okay, now because we're not connected to the internet, we cannot broadcast this transaction. So we're going to have to choose Save again. So now we've got a signed transaction. I'm going to save it right back onto the flash drive. We'll click Save here. And the transaction was saved successfully. We're going to close this guy out. And that's it. I think we're in the home stretch now. We've managed to sign, and notice there's no history here. There's nothing. Because it is disconnected. It's not connected to the internet. But it was able to pull up that transaction and sign it because the private keys are on this machine. And so let's see what happens when we take that signed transaction over to our online wallet. Okay, so I'm going to close this down. That has the cold storage signed signature on the transaction. It has a signed transaction saved on this flash drive. We have the watching only wallet on this computer. Let's open it up. If you remember, we sent the max transaction out. Okay, it tells us that we have a watching only wallet here. We're going to click OK. All right, and so what we see here is that Bitcoin that came in, and we're going to try and send it out. So basically what we need to do, okay, so now that we have, we started the transaction from here, if you remember. We did a send. We put in a nice address for the place I wanted to send it, and I had to save it because this is a watching only wallet. It won't send. And then we saved that transaction, moved it over to the cold storage computer, and loaded it up in the Electrum Bitcoin Wallet and signed it. And now that we have that signed transaction, we're gonna, in the watching only section, we're gonna load that guy up. So we just go over here to Tools, Load Transaction. We're gonna do it from File. And we've opened up the USB drive here. Now we don't want to open this guy up. This was the unsigned part, right? We want to open this guy. This was the one that got signed on our cold storage unit. And so we'll just open this guy up. And lo and behold, there is our transaction. It has been signed, sealed, and delivered. And the only thing we need to do to send it out onto the blockchain is to click this little broadcast button. So I'm going to do that now. Oh, before I do that, well, why don't we open up our other Bitcoin wallet? All right, so we're just going to open up the Ledger wallet so we can watch this miracle take place. All right, so we're going to go over here to our legacy wallet because that was the address that we're sending to. All right, so here is our transaction. We're about to broadcast this signed transaction. We'll click broadcast. And there we go, payment sent. And there, that looks like a transaction ID. And look at that, it just appeared miraculously in this other wallet here. Of course, it's still unconfirmed. Let's close it down. And looky here, see, we maxed out the Bitcoin when we created the transaction. And then we saved it. We loaded it up in the cold storage wallet and signed it. And then we saved that signed transaction, brought it back over here to our online watching only wallet, loaded that transaction and clicked broadcast, and it went out onto the Bitcoin network. And you see here it says unconfirmed, but it's not going to, we'll take a look at how long it takes. But once that transaction becomes completely confirmed, we'll see two transactions here and a zero balance. And then over here in the other Bitcoin wallet, I've got $41 coming in. Now, I think when I started this whole process, there was about $50 worth of Bitcoin in there. So through all of the fees that I incurred to get to move it in and then move it back out again, and I believe there was one failed transaction when I tried with a Segwit. That cost me a fee too. But I'm happy that we got this done and I got to demonstrate to you exactly how this all works. And in your use case, it's only going to be a one-time deal. You're always going to get a fee on the network when you send or receive Bitcoin. So that's just a fact of life that we have to deal with. So that's it, guys. We finally did it. We finally completed this video. It was a long and arduous process. Took me a few days. The video that I'm showing you is going to be edited extensively. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. And next to your subscribe button in YouTube, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted every time I post a new video. Thanks for joining me, and hope you have a great day. Thanks.